We have some new developments today in the plane shot down over Ukraine.
Investigators are still awaiting access to the site, but today the Malaysian Prime Minister announced an agreement reached with the rebel leader in charge of the region where the plane went down. They're supposed to hand over the data and voice recorders, allowing safe access to the site. Also today, remains of the victims were finally moved. CBS 2's Alice Gaynor has the latest.
4 days after the Boeing 777 was shot out of the sky, the remains of the crash victims were moved by refrigerated train from a rebel-held town in eastern Ukraine. They'll be flown to Amsterdam on a military plane, where they'll then be handed over to Dutch authorities. The Dutch have condemned the way the bodies have been treated in Ukraine.
I want to arrange their funeral. I can't. I don't know where they are. I don't know. I want them back.
193 of the 298 passengers killed were Dutch citizens. Today, hundreds of friends and family of the victims met.
Very anxious to know when the bodies will return to the Netherlands. So there's a lot of grief, of course.
Hours earlier, Dutch experts, as well as President Obama, demanded international investigators gain full access to the Malaysia Airlines Flight 17 crash site. There's concern that evidence there has already been significantly compromised. Pro-Russian rebels have been sifting through the wreckage and have removed the plane's black boxes from the scene.
All of which begs the question, what exactly are they trying to hide?
The Obama administration has laid out evidence showing those rebels used a Russian surface-to-air missile to down the commercial plane.
Russia has urged them on. Russia has trained them. We know that Russia has armed them with military equipment and weapons, including anti-aircraft weapons.
Russian President Vladimir Putin denies his country had anything to do with the crash, instead blaming the Ukrainian government. Ukraine's prime minister, meantime, says the plane was shot down by a mobile missile battery from a rebel-controlled area in eastern Ukraine.
They can support these guerrillas, but they have to stop. And President Putin is to realize that enough is enough.
Well, back here in New York at the UN, the Security Council has unanimously adopted a resolution demanding international access to the crash site and a ceasefire around the area. This followed an intense pressure on a reluctant Russia to support the measure. They say Russia must use its influence of the separatists to ensure this. Christine?